Well, hey, this is Darryl Davis coming to here to talk about how to design a career worth smiling about in this coming year. So if you're watching this video, let me just tell you that part of, or the purpose of this video is to do like a little bit of a training session to go over our real estate agents' easy business plan. This is something that we give our power agents that are in our coaching program to help them really succeed next year. I mean, the agents who have done this in previous years have made tens of thousands of dollars just from this simple thing. And it looks like this. So if you haven't printed it out, please print it out and you can follow along. And you see it's one page. See, it's not like, this is why we call it the easy business plan. See, we put a lot of thought into that title. Anyway, the reason why I love this is because when I was an agent, I tried doing one of those. I looked at my business like a business, so I really tried to, have a corporate type business plan, mission statement, values, a SWOT analysis on strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and all that. And it's so long and it takes so much time. I had to take a nap in the middle of filling it out. And by the time I was done, if I was tired filling this thing out, I'd be exhausted trying to implement it. You see, so sometimes you get lost in the weeds when it's too much. So this, again, I've seen my students they've said that just from this very simple form, it's helped them make tens of thousands of dollars. So I want to go through this with you, but before I do, I just want to say this, why this is so important. As you go into next year or your next 12 months, it's important to get to your next level to help you stay focused. The thing about real estate is every day, we can be really drained by deals falling apart, dealing with our own fears, balancing our personal life. I mean, this is a hard business. And so there's so many distractions that can take us off our purpose. And having a simple plan, if you just focus on the last part of this plan, which is one line, if you just focus on that one line, no matter how you feel, if you just do that one line, that last line in this plan, you will be tremendously successful. And here's another thing too. When you think about, I've asked in my seminars before, what's the most important piece in a jigsaw puzzle? And of course, people have different strategies, because strategies are important. So maybe it's the corner piece, the left corner, right corner. Maybe it's the middle piece. They talk about the pieces. And really, when you think about it, the most important piece in the jigsaw puzzle is the cover, the box. The cover to the box, because that's where the picture is that says this is how the end result should be. This is your picture of what your next 12 months is going to look like. And I'm going to say one last thing, that the actions we take are either based on how we feel or what we're committed to. Usually when we take action based on how we feel, our results are not always what we hope for. If you want to be successful in life, it's doing the things you don't feel like doing. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you keep getting what you've been getting. So it helps us not live from our feelings is being clear about what our commitment is. And that's the other powerful part of this, to help you stay focused on your commitment. So let's go through the form. If you haven't printed it out, pause the video, print it out now. And I'm not going to do line by line because that would also be boring and exhausting. We have got here at the very top, the beginning 1 and 2, it talks about business, survival income, and then personal survival income. I just covered this important distinction that if we were to take all of our personal bills and we take all of our business bills, we add it up and we pay all those, we've only just survived. And it's amazing. Agents tell me how amazed they are that they didn't realize how much money they need just to break even. So that's what that first part is. The next part, numbers 4 through 9, goes through, okay, you've got your survival income, but let's talk about growth. Let's talk about your next level. Let's talk about retirement. Let's talk about your savings. You got to pay your taxes. And business improvement. So it goes through those. So then you come up with what's that number. Now you take your survival income, you take your growth income, add it together, and that's our goal. That's what we want to accomplish. And keep in mind, part of those next level, those number 4 through 8 are the growth items, right? This is like things that are important to you, that makes your heart sing, whether it's retirement or going on vacation or whatever it might be, losing weight via surgery, whatever's going to inspire you. See, now what you're working towards is not just breaking even, not just surviving, but growing. And all right, now what we do is we take, in this next part, it says personal business plan, desired income, letter A. Well, it's easy. You take line 10, which is you're totaling everything up, and you put it in that letter A. Now, the rest of this, that little section there talks about, all right, what do you need as far as listing sales and buyer sales, all right? And you'll notice that it says 75% of your revenue should come from listings. Now, this is not a listing video, it's just a business plan, but I want to tell you something. One thing that's true about most, if not all, top producers is 75% of their income comes from listings sold. I've talked about this many times in my seminars about if you were going to open up a shoe store, you can, if you want to sell shoes for a living, you can either open up a shoe store and fill the racks with shoes and promote your store, or you find a buyer who wants to buy a pair of shoes, stick them in your car, and then drive them from shoe store to shoe store. Obviously, the better business model is having the store with the shoes. So a shoe store, their inventory is their shoes. Well, in real estate, our inventory is our listings. And every time we take buyers out to show property, we're really bringing them to another agent shoe store selling their inventory. So it's got to be an important part of your business plan. If you want to break through to your next level, you need to get inventory and build it. Not just get it, but also maintain it. So that's that sections A through E. Then if you look at F, G, and H, it's very simple. Not all of your listings that you wind up getting are going to wind up selling. So if, let's say, if the 10% or 90, I don't want to do the math. I see now I'm going to have to calculate it. But if you need 15 listings sold, you may have to list 20 because 5 are not going to. But what's really good about F, G, and H, it tells you how many listings you need to list every 30 days. So that's what I love about it. It keeps it simple. All right, this is what I got to get every month, this number of listings based on this easy business plan. I through L goes through how many appointments you've got to go on in order to get that number of listings each month. So now we're breaking it down. And it's focused. And by the way, I want to say something here. I'm going to get to a punchline here. So now, how many appointments do you need to go on? Because if you're not going to list everything you go on, right? If let's say you list for every 10, you list 7, right? So that you need to know these numbers. So that helps you determine number of attended listing appointments. The last part, the very last part, it goes down to how many calls you need to make to get to this level in these listings. And that's the real punchline here. That last line is how many calls a week do you need to make? Not how many appointments, not how many appointments scheduled or appointments list that you go on. That's all in the business plan. But the final punchline is how many phone calls do you need to make each week? Now, here's why this is so important. If you just focus on that task, that activity, and you just focus on that, and don't worry too much about the rest. Like, you got your plan, it's in the background, but really, how many calls each week? It will help you get to your next level income. It'll all just happen. It's a domino effect, but it all starts with this activity. And listen, it's like a diet. If you keep focusing on the scale, boy, that could be a little disempowering. Oh, I'm not losing as much as I should. I wish I could, but I wish it happened quicker. Surgery, is the answer. Anyway, so if you just focus on every day eating correctly and not worry about the scale, it's there. You're going to do it every so often, but it's about daily activities, doing the right thing. The weight will just happen by itself. And I can go through a whole bunch of other analogies, but I think you get the point. Focus on the test. Now, for my power agents, you have that incredible dialogue for calling FSBOs and expireds that I gave you. It's part of the training course. And if you use that dialogue, that's part of our program. The batting average for our students, if you speak to 4 FSBOs, you should schedule 2 appointments for every 4. And I'm talking FSBOs or expireds. So that's incredible batting average. And so make sure you're using that dialogue. Anyway, I hope this helped you, this little training video, to help you have this next year be your best year ever. If there's anything I can do, my company can do, reach out to us. We're pretty accessible. You can email me. I do check my emails. And if I don't answer, it probably went into the spam or junk thing. And if that happened, don't take it personal. I don't think you're junk. Oh, last thing. Remember that what we do in real estate is not just help people buy and sell. We actually help people get to their next level in their life. People are moving to their next level. What we do is help people and change their lives. So the more people you help get to their next level in this next 12 months, the money will be a gauge as to how many lives you've touched. So focus on touching a lot of lives, and the rest just all works out. This is Darryl Davis. Thank you very much. Make sure you follow me on social media. Darryl Speaks, Darryl Speaks. You can find me LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Darryl Speaks. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Hey, and don't forget to keep smiling.